Hey folks, it's Wednesday, right? Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Wednesday morning on the East Coast here. Do you have the AccuWeather alerts that are going to go off all day long? Hurricane Michael, is that Michael Avenatti? Hurricane Michael is coming up, going to hit the panhandle there of Florida. We hope everybody's okay. We hope everybody's evacuated. We do know CNN is in place, and they have sent their entire team, and they're in place hoping they can create a different kind of news story right here 4 weeks before election. But we hope everybody's okay, and that's everything you're getting down there on your screen this morning is hurricane coverage. Why don't we just leave that like to Jim Cantori and the Weather Channel and let them do that? That's why they call it the Weather Channel, okay? We can get our information from the Weather Channel, okay? Not Griff Jenkins and all of the CNN team down there just trying to find disaster and mayhem so they can, CNN's like the hurricane, what's that commercial when mayhem happens, right? That guy's there, right? That's CNN on hurricane coverage. They're waiting for mayhem. Anyhow, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. You can contact the show, 706-889-9700. You can send me an email, chief@fetchernews.com. Trying to make sure the volume's off on this, chief@fetchernews.com. Follow us on Twitter, @FetcherNews, @FYNTV. YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetcher News, and you'll get a notification. When like you know you're supposed to do something, and you just keep putting it on the back burner, and you'll get to it later. Well, that happens to be me and all the notifications that I've gotten that my email is almost full and I need to empty it so it will work. So this morning I tried to send Josh all of my pictures for the day, and it tells me that I'm out of room. So we'll have a low graphic Wednesday. All right, what do we talk about? Is it Cedar Bluff, Iowa? Where is it at? Is that what it's called? They have upgraded the chant. Right? They've upgraded the chant. Where was that? Is that Cedar Bluff, Iowa? Trump is out in Iowa last night, and out in Cedar Grove or wherever it is, Iowa, they want Dianne Feinstein locked up. Oh, wow. Holy mackerel, Batman. Yeah. They want Dianne Feinstein. Trump says, I got to give it to the president. We're going to get into some serious stuff here. Nikki Haley. The left is spinning. I love when the left likes the right. Oh, man, they are praising Nikki Haley as the one person in the administration that maintained her, what would you call it? But she stood up to the president. She was the one in the cabinet that maintained her identity, that didn't get sucked into the Trump world. And so anyhow, the heads are spinning off, and they love her now. Oh, yes, they absolutely love her. She exited stage left, according to the left, and they love her. So that's going on. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. Yes, Nikki Haley. And, but last night in Cedar Grove, Cedar Bluff, Iowa, Trump does the greatest impression, okay, of Dianne Feinstein. He just does. You have to watch these rallies. I didn't get to watch the entire rally last night. Blue Ridge City Council went up there. Didn't get to watch the entire rally, but you have to watch these things because you never know what he'll do next. And then he hits a home run on something, and, you know, he'll use it about 3 or 4 rallies. But right now, Dianne Feinstein, do you remember in the questioning, you know, who leaked the document? All right, it was great because Feinstein did. She gave the look. Then she looked back to her did we leak it? Did we do that? I tell you, Trump does a great impression of Dianne Feinstein leaking the document. Just a great impression. You can't beat it. So the crowd starts chanting, "Lock her up. Lock her up." So out in Iowa, remember, that's where he was going to nosedive out there because of the tariffs that were going to hurt the farmers. Headed to Erie, Pennsylvania. Trump is headed to Erie, Pennsylvania today. And that'll be for Lou Bartoletta. Lou Bartoletta, Erie, Pennsylvania. Now, yesterday, we're going to get into this. I'm going to start it right now. With this. I just wanted to Google names. Now, you may Google these names and something else come up. I understand if you're in a different zip code or whatever. I mean, that's how it works. I'm telling you right now. But up here in Ellijay, Georgia, when I Googled Brian Kemp, okay, let's put up, now this is the race for governor of Georgia, all right? And I just want to do this, so let's put up number, I thought I had it on the list there, Josh. Maybe I don't. Do you have number 8? Okay. Now, number 8, let me look at this. Let me pull it up. I have to get a computer for this show that'll run fast enough. Okay. Now, if you could see on the top, number 8, all I have typed in on Google was Brian Kemp. That's it. That's all that's typed in at the top. I didn't ask it anything but Brian Kemp. And I got GOP's Brian Kemp purged 1 in 10 Georgia voters. I've got the names, okay? That's one of the stories. Second is anti-gay Georgia candidate what is that second word down there? But and Abrams, Kemp bring long-running war over voting rights in Georgia governor's race. If I don't find glasses here pretty soon. That's DR? Okay. So is anti-Georgia candidate cruising Grindr for votes, right? And that's an app for gay men. Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you, Josh. So that is the Brian Kemp. Now, Josh, as my witness in there, that's all that Google search says at the top. Brian Kemp, right?
That's correct.
And then underneath it says top stories, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now, let's go to number 9. All I put in this morning is Stacey Abrams. The second number 9, if I gave you 2, there you go. That's all I put in. And every day I've been putting this in just to see some of the things that come up on Google. Top stories this morning on Google for Stacey Abrams. And we're going to visit this one because I know the direction that Google is helping, whether they lie or not, Stacey Abrams and the areas they're trying to help her. Where am I at? Now, I know you're going to yell. I know, oh no, he's got conspiracy theory hat on this morning. Let me get a drink of water before I can finish conspiracy theory Abrams. So sorry, folks. Stacey Abrams, top stories. Rural Georgians want Medicaid. Now stop right there. They want it. We want it. But they are, this was it said, they're divided on Stacey Abrams, the candidate. And who is that from? The New Yorker. The New Yorker doing what? A story on what? Rural Georgia. On what? Medicaid. It's Stacey Abrams. Because I'm going to tell you before we're done, we're going to hold these two pictures and we're going to get it to where my other pictures come in when they do. And we're going to do an entire segment on rural Georgia and what is happening up here that you do not think is taking place. Many out there. Republicans, you know, I like most of them, okay? I like most of them. But I'll tell you what, let me speak to the arrogant Republicans. Don't get all worked up, don't get all mad. But the arrogant Republicans this morning, the ones that are going to every Republican fish fry, going to every Republican barbecue and shaking hands. Okay? And that's your campaigning to the choir. Top stories for Stacey Abrams. Rural Georgians want Medicaid. Okay. Second one, doctored images takes aim at Stacey Abrams. Okay. All right. Like it's an attack on her. And the last one out of 3 is equal to Brian Kemp. Abrams, Brian bring long-running war over voter rights to Georgia. But this is not a positive story on Brian Kemp, okay? It is it's a positive story on Abrams and what she wants to do. And the negative, understand, every time you see a voting rights or voting or anything with Brian Kemp's name next to it, it's negative because he's Secretary of State. So voting. So I just wanted you to see that, okay? I just wanted you to see that. And I want to look at, before I go to my first break, had it here just a minute ago, from the New York Post, or the New Yorker, the magazine New Yorker, rural Georgians want Medicaid, but they're divided on the candidate who wants to expand it, okay? So you need to be guilty. You're about to be guilty now. Leave up the Stacey Abrams there for a minute. Patty Castleberry, an unemployed white woman. Damn white woman. I knew we wouldn't get out of the first sentence. In her early 50s. White woman. Lives in Cuthbert, a small town in southwest Georgia. Last June, she suffered a ruptured aneurysm that required multiple surgeries. One day I went to bed and woke up in Emory. She recalled referring to a hospital in Atlanta. She didn't have insurance at the time. She has since secured Medicaid, but it didn't kick in immediately as she has hospital bills exceeding $300,000. From the New Yorker. Unemployed white woman in rural Georgia. So I'm telling you right now, they are working rural Georgia for the next 27 days or whatever it is. Look, early voting starts on October 15th. Okay? Georgia has a record number of requests for absentee ballots. That's my understanding, record number. Democrats are making moves in areas in Georgia with candidates. Unlike, it's not been seen before in years since Georgia actually in the rural areas was a Democrat at that time. So that is some of the things I want to talk about because You got a new poll coming out. Brian Kemp, 47, I think 47, 45 over Stacey Abrams. I am concerned on what's getting ready to happen in rural Georgia, and I'm just telling you this because, you know, I put up, let me go here for a minute if it'll open, and I want to show you this for a reason. I'll do it after the break. I went over here, okay, to Gilmer Arts in Gilmer County, Georgia. Sarah Riggs Amico is coming to town. All right, this is where I'm talking about. Let me just get straight with these Republicans, okay? So Sarah Riggs Amico is running for lieutenant governor, right behind, right at the top of the ticket with Stacey Abrams. It's almost like you run, you know, president, vice president. We'll talk about Nikki Haley in a minute. Don't get worked up, okay? You got a hurricane to watch, Nikki Haley to watch. Don't worry about it. We're in Georgia right now. Because even if you're a national viewer, you need to pay attention because so goes Georgia. Oh, I forgot the good news. They broke it to us Michael Bloomberg's a Democrat again. When wasn't he a Democrat? And guess what? Bloomberg has poured millions of dollars into this state, Georgia. Tom Steyer, millions of dollars. You think they don't want Georgia? They're trying to take back the House. That's what many of you, and I'm not getting scattered here. I'm trying to tell even the national office, national viewers, they keep talking about taking back the House, all right? But they want Georgia. Nothing would make them any happier than turning that gold dome in Atlanta, Georgia, blue. And getting a foothold on redrawing the maps in Georgia that would end up. I asked the lady with Common Cause the other night. I've got video on it, okay? Hopefully I get time this weekend to break that down because I want you to hear what she said when I asked her. Yes, if Stacey Abrams becomes governor and they redraw the maps, Common Cause may step in with lawsuits concerning districting in Georgia. That's why I keep yelling, wake up. So I go over here to Gilmer County, right? And there's about 25 Democrats there. Well, that's not a big crowd. Well, I'll tell you what, it was 25. Sarah Riggs Amico comes up, candidate for the lieutenant governor, Democrat. And not one person, now wait a minute, listen to this. I know you're going to get angry at me. And I don't give a rat's, okay? I really don't. This is one of those days I don't give a rat's because I'm trying to, I guess, help. I mean, I tell you what, I send messages to the Republicans and the arrogant damn people just like, yes, they pat me on the friggin' head. And I wanted to use another word and I'm going to be clear. Okay, but we don't use that word here. I send them messages and they pat me on the head. Well, to hell with you and you're patting me on the damn head. I'm trying to help. Maybe it's worthless. But here's what I do know, all right? At Gilmer County, 25 Democrats got together. Nobody showed up to ask questions. One time I went to a Doug Collins town hall, and I've been to them before. When Republicans hold town halls, okay? When Republicans hold town halls, what'll happen is Democrats will flood the room and ask questions. Over in Gainesville one time, I was at a town hall where Congressman Doug Collins held the town hall, and I discussed this with many other people in just the last week, 3 days. And Democrats flooded Doug Collins' town hall, it wasn't a year and a half ago or whatever, or a year ago even, and they peppered him with question after question about repealing Obamacare. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm driving down here, okay, to Gilmer County. I walk in, there's 25, and I'm looking. Here's the kicker. Gilmer County votes like 78% Republican, right? What did Donald Trump get? 79% of the vote, 81%? I don't know. But generally, what, 78% you vote Republican? So I figure, hey, Republicans are going to come out, or somewhere, a surrounding county, Dawson, Fannin, Pickens, Murray. Somebody's going to come out and put 5 or 6 people in the seats and ask this lady questions. Hey, where are you going to get money for this? How do you stand on this? Stacey Abrams says she'll do this. Nobody, just me. I guess the good news is only I showed up with my video camera, and she felt comfortable enough to talk, and I got a 30-second clip that said, "Me Too error, Brian Kemp possibly won't make it through in 4 years." And it's going viral all over the place, which I'm glad I did. Nobody. Then here's the interesting thing, and this is what gets me too. I put a town hall, a little focus group together. So they had 25 people, okay? And I said, hey, if you want to stick around afterwards, let's circle up the chairs. It's on our Facebook page. It's all over Facebook. I haven't put it on YouTube yet, but if you go on Facebook, Fetcher News Facebook, you can see it. It's about 45 minutes. I say you circle up the chairs. Whoever wants to stay, we'll talk about Kavanaugh and Justice Kavanaugh, and whether you agreed with the president appointing him and the Senate confirming him. So I get about 10, 12 people that stuck around, and we got the chairs out. And I just kicked out some questions or some topics, and as they got, if you stay into it over 15 minutes, they start getting angry, okay? I mean, there's some things I asked them that just really bothered them. When it came into, Ford's credibility, Dianne Feinstein, I mean, they got upset. But here's the messages on Facebook. And I'll give them to you. The messages on Facebook. I've lived here this long, and I didn't realize that many crazy people are in this county. Like, I didn't realize those crazy people were even around here. I said, okay, all right. See? I didn't even realize they're here. That's right. Then I got a couple phone calls. Why in the world would you do that? Why in the world would you sit down with them? Lord, somebody called me and said, my God, I found out yesterday that those people lived up here where I do. Okay. Just say it. Okay. So, rural Georgia, when we come back, we're going to, I absolutely promise, we're going to talk about Nikki Haley. Okay. We're going to talk about Nikki Haley. We're going to talk about Donald Trump going to Erie, Pennsylvania. We're going to talk about the journalist with the Washington Post that Joe Scarborough is implying this morning that the Trump administration tipped off the Saudis that he would turn his head. I'm serious. That's how low these pieces of garbage are. They are that low. Joe Scarborough said on Morning Joe that he implied that Donald Trump knew about this and turned his head to give the nod, gave the nod to Saudi Arabia. Hey, U.S. will turn our head. You do what we got to do. And now this Washington Post journalist has supposedly been sawed up with a saw, into pieces and not to be seen or heard from ever again. But he implied Trump was okay with it, okay? And yes, they are begging Nikki Haley to run Nikki, run Nikki, run Nikki. We know you're the Nikki Haley that took the Confederate flag off the Capitol of South Carolina. We know you're the Nikki Haley that endorsed Marco Rubio. We know you're the Nikki Haley that was at one time a Tea Party darling, but a couple questionable things there in South Carolina. We know that, so we want you to run against Donald Trump. We're going to go over some of the radical things that have been said this morning by the left that's going. But look at this one more time. Okay, Google search Stacey Abrams, +3 positive stories in her favor. 3. You see on the top, put up the one with Brian Kemp. What's that number? I don't know which number it was back. 2 back. 8. Is it number 8, Josh? Oh, you have that up? Is that what you have up? Okay. I guess I got to find my glasses. I got to get a damn computer. Got to find my glasses. It's a great day. I'm actually in a very good mood. And there's Stacey Abrams. Wait a minute, I had Brian Kemp there. And we pull up the picture for Brian Kemp. And that's all I put in. Do the test at home. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't know. It may be my zip code here, but I wanted to clip it so I could prove it that all I did was put in Brian Kemp and 3 negative stories. Anti-gay, okay, purging voter, anti-gay Georgia candidate, purging voters off the voter roll, and voting rights in Georgia, 3 negative on him. There you go. We'll take a brief break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about what the media is talking about, Nikki Haley. Then we'll move on to the Washington Post. We'll see if there's anything new, and then we'll move on to some more Georgia, okay? Because I want to be around 9 o'clock. I want to at least be back on Georgia because I know that's a national. They're talking about it on MSNBC. They're doing everything they can to Elizabeth Warren was here yesterday. Look at the wackos that are showing up for this lady. And so let's take a break, Josh. I'm your host, BKP. We'll be right back after these messages.